What's up, New York Mets Nation? Coming up on this episode of the Batcave, I'll be talking Mets versus Braves, Mets versus Phillies. I'll look ahead, Mets versus Phillies again, the next two games, and the Mets against traveling to Miami against the Marlins. Also, I'll be taking a look at a couple of the struggling Mets, which there's many of, so it's a lot to choose from. And also, the Mets are making some moves. I'll also talk about that and much, much more coming up on the Batcave in 50 seconds. Good morning, New York Mets Nation, and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry, and of course, like it is every week, you know what day it is. It's Hump Day! Yes, sir, and ma'am, it is Hump Day. It's all downhill from here, right? All right. Weekend is right around the corner for some of us. All right. So let's kick this show off here, and I'll kick off some talk some past baseball. So this Mets versus Braves series, which happened over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. No, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm sorry, I was getting my days mixed up there. From this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Mets versus Cardinals last week. The Mets won the first two games. We talked about that last week. Wednesday's game was rained out. That'll be made up sometime down the road. I don't remember exactly when. And so then they also had an off day, Thursday. So they come home for a 3-game set against the Atlanta Braves. Feeling good about themselves after a couple wins against the Cardinals. But it did not go so well. Braves pitching showed up. Mets bats did not. Each game competitive, for the most part, close games, but not good at all. Not good enough. Not good at all. And of course, our boy Yuki Matsui checking in and proclaiming pretty much how we all feel right about now about this current roster, this team. I hate this team. Yes, we're feeling it. It's incredibly frustrating. I'll tell you that, Yuki. I said it in my my promo video I put out there. The way I feel about this team right now is raspberries, and that's all I can say. I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. You have parts of your roster, your starting lineup that are hitting, and then when the other part starts hitting, that part that was hitting isn't hitting. Bullpen, pitching fantastic for the most part this season. They've had some hiccups. They're getting used a lot. The starting pitching, half of it's pitching pretty good or decent to good. The other half is, in the crapper right now. In my opinion, it's kind of time to start shuffling some things up, and I believe the Mets are going to start doing that, as we've seen with some moves that I'll be talking about in a couple minutes here, as soon as I get through these games. So game one against the Braves this past Friday, the Mets lost 4-2. We'll go ahead and read the notes that I have written down. Charlie Morton shuts the Mets down. Charlie Morton shuts the Mets down minus a 7th inning bomb by Lindor. Mets only worked 3 hits off of Charlie Morton. That'd be Nimmo, Lindor, and Pete Alonso. So Nimmo had a hit, Lindor had the home run, and Pete Alonso had a nice double. Mets starter Jose Quintana, another shaky start for him, kind of all over the place. He's really struggling with his command, getting that pitch count up really early. Something that we did not see from him last year. Last year, he was able to keep the pitch count down, getting into the 6th and 7th innings. It's not happening right now. He went 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Gave up 3 home runs, all in the third inning. But besides that, he pitched okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't good. Good enough to win. You'd hate to see your starting pitcher give up 4 runs in only 5 innings, but with this lineup, we should be scoring runs, and we're just not doing it right now. We're not getting hits. We're not getting on base. We're not scoring runs. Alonso knocks in Marte in the 9th inning, making it 4-2. Martinez, and this was I could still see this part of the game. Sitting in my chair, watching this, and Alonso's on second. We're down 2 runs. You have JD Martinez up, who can take the ball yard. Obviously, that's why we got him. That's why he's batting DH. Absolutely crushes it. I don't know if it went upper deck or not, but he crushes it. It was a moonshot, and it was just foul. Oh, I jumped out of the seat like, I was excited. All right, we got ourselves a new ball game. It was just foul though. Super bummed, but you can't live like that. And so the Mets went down after that. I can't remember what JD did. I don't remember if he struck out, popped out, ground out, but nothing else happened. That was a little bit of excitement in our lives, and that was it. So yeah. Overall, Mets muster up 4 hits. 2 of those by Alonso, 1 by Nimmo, and 1 by Lindor. Like I mentioned earlier, 3 of those hits were off Morton. Nimmo was 1 for 4. Lindor was 1 for 4 with an RBI and a home run. Alonso was 2 for 4 RBI, and he also had a double. Bullpen, 4 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And that was Johan Ramirez, who we'll talk about a little bit later on for poor Johan, and Adrian Hauser. So Hauser kind of finding his footing a little bit there in the bullpen. I do believe he's the one that gave up the 2 walks out of those 4 innings pitched, but I did not write it down, so I'm not sure. So that was game 1 of that set. Yuki says, I don't care if we win facing Cubs or Cardinals or Rays. You can't lose to Yanks, Phillies, or Braves, point blank, period. And so I agree to a point. Like with the way that this team's constructed right now, like most of us, you kind of believe the Mets will be a 500 team. And, where the Phillies are sitting right now, as hot as they are, as good as they're playing, they should beat the Mets. You get a lot of, cocky-ass Philly fans. Case in point, right here, our boy Adam Clay. Cocky-ass Philly fans, they want to talk shit and stuff. Well, you know what? Your team does have the best record in the league against, probably, one of the worst hitting teams in the league right now. It feels like anyway. That's how it feels. Whether or not it's factual or not, I'm not sure, but it's not going good right now for the offensive part. Yeah, you're supposed to beat the Mets. All right, Phillies, you're supposed to beat the Mets. Maybe act like you're supposed to do it. But anyway, it's inexcusable to lose the way we're losing with the guys that we have on that roster, that starting lineup. It is inexcusable. It's inexcusable that we're not scoring runs. It's inexcusable we're not getting key hits. Fielding hasn't been terrible, but there's times where it's been really shaky. So it's just that nothing's coming together right now. But again, a couple games under 500. It's not the end of the world. I'm usually Mr. Positivity, so I'm going to go that route. You've got to stay positive. A lot of baseball to go yet. But it's incredibly, incredibly, incredibly frustrating. And like you said, Yankees, Braves, Phillies, you hate losing those games. For me personally, more so Braves and Phillies. I understand the Yankee hate from the Mets fans. I do. But for me personally, it's more so the Phillies and Braves are the teams that I really hate. And it just, when you lose to those teams, it really sticks in there. But again, all these games were competitive games. I mean, if you like stat sheet wise, they felt like competitive games. You go back and watch some of these games, it maybe not felt like that because it felt like we were overpowered by all these starting pitchers from the Braves to the Phillies. Well, maybe not so much the first game against the Phillies, but definitely the second game against the Phillies. So moving on to game 2 against Atlanta, we lost 4-1. Max Fried, again, another starting pitcher for Atlanta that pretty much housed us. Max Fried and a couple relievers had a no-hitter for 8 2/3 innings before J.D. Martinez steps up and finally gets his first home run as a Met. Hit it hard. I believe it was right center field, and it took it out. So that ended the no-hitter, made a 4-1, but we were also able to get a couple guys on, and we had a chance to maybe even tie it up, but fell short. Yeah, again, looking for those clutch hits, just not happening. The Mets did have a chance in the ninth. Went after Martinez, home run. Jeff McNeil walked. Bader got an infield single. Brett Baty lined out to center field. He hit it pretty hard to center field, if I remember correctly, but it was right at the center fielder. He stung it, but no chance. Christian Scott, his second start, did a really good job. Struggled in an inning, but that was it. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Keeping those walks down, strikeouts up, good. The bullpen, 3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 1 hit. Sean Reed-Foley is having a fantastic season so far. 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts. Jorge Lopez, 2 walks, 1 hit, 1 earned run. Nimmo left the game after getting hurt on a check swing. It was something, I got a twinge, or I don't want to say a pull muscle. Pull muscle usually indicates that it's going to be out for a while. But he felt something weird. I believe he walked out at bat, took the base, stayed out on the base. But when he came in, I don't know if he pulled himself or if the training staff pulled him. But he goes on to saying later on that it's just one of those things where if you go out there and continue playing with it, that it could potentially lead something bigger. And if you ever played a sport or ever got injured doing anything, what happens sometimes is you hurt yourself, you continue doing what you're doing. Well, you overcompensate sometimes with your other body parts to kind of make it not hurt, if that makes any sense. Like, for instance, I had ACL surgery my sophomore year of high school. I tore playing gym class volleyball, and I worked it back. I was able to get back before the start of the football season, but my junior football season, it wasn't right. And I was overcompensating for my right leg hurting. Knowing I tore my ACL, knowing the pain and the work that I went through, I overcompensated with my left leg, and eventually my left leg, I started getting a lot of pain in my left leg. So it took a while before I was able to have confidence in that leg, my right leg, where I wasn't overcompensating. But you can see how you can injure yourself by overcompensating or trying to work through something. Sometimes makes things worse. So I get that 100%. So Brandon Nimmo pulled himself out, or he was pulled out, and the next day against the Braves, did not start. They kept him out of the starting lineup. They talked to him. It was Mother's Day. They talked to him on the side in the dugout, and he said, he'll be back against Philly. He's available for the game today, but more than likely be back for Philly. And we kind of, as a Mets fan, you kind of know what happened there for the rest of that game, as we'll get into the Mets versus Braves. Game number 3. Mets are already down 0-2, so trying to avoid the sweep. Adam Glenn says, you do Mets fans hate the Phillies? Yes, we do hate the Phillies. Philly fans hate the Mets. Just like, we both hate the Braves. We don't give a shit about the Nationals or Marlins, even though the Nationals are ahead of the Mets right now in the standings, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So game 3 against the Braves was a win for the Mets, 5-4. The Mets able to get the win. It was a back and forth type game. Braves go ahead early, but the Mets answer back with an Alonso RBI. Braves go back up on top, but another Alonso RBI. I think it was a RBI double. Ties the game back up, makes it 2-2. Then it was, I don't remember if it was Albies or Ozuna. I was able to give the Braves the lead, 3-2 in the 8th inning. Nimmo clubs a walk-off 2-run home run to give the Mets the 4-3 win. So he came in, I think it was the 7th inning, as a pinch runner, stayed in the game, was able to get the at bat in the bottom of the 9th inning, and absolutely crushed. It was a great spot. It was a great It was a great, it was an awesome scene to watch. It was really neat to see. If you were watching that live, which I was watching it live, just knowing what he went through the last day and a half, being thrusted into this game as a pinch runner and coming up to hit it, then and knowing how I would say he's played well, recently. He hasn't been a world beater, but he's played well. He's hit well. He's hit for a little bit more power recently. So seeing him up the bat and seeing him get that hit was just it was awesome to see. And of course, he always had that smile on his face, and he's Mr. Hustle, so he's always he's around those bases in like 2 seconds, and probably the fastest home run trot you'll ever see. But it's good to see you feel a little bit of momentum for the Mets. Going into the Phillies series, maybe think, all right, we can do this. We can go up against the Phillies. Maybe take 1 or 2 against the Phillies here before we go to Philadelphia. But not so fast. Adam, the answer: why do Mets fans hate the Phillies? Why do the Phillies hate the Mets? Adam, I rebuttal that question. So why do Mets fans hate the Phillies? A couple reasons. For me personally, it's divisional rival, right? Back and forth, the all the heat, from the I was at the mid 2000s, early 2000s, I guess mid 2000s, around there, like was it 2006, somewhere around 2006, 7, 8, whatever it was, where the Mets blew that big lead at the end of the season against the Phillies. Jimmy Rollins, what he had to say about the Mets, all that good stuff. Chase Utley, breaking. Well, I guess he was a Dodger then. He wasn't a Philly, but still, he'll forever be known as a Philly to me. Breaking our shortstop's leg in the playoffs. Just many different things. Many different things, Adam Glenn. There's a lot of the fans are obnoxious, but not all of them. Not all of them, Adam. I don't think you're obnoxious. But most Philly fans that I know aren't. I'll say that. Most, personally, most that I know are not. And, when they are, I know it's all in fun. We're having a good time with it. But going to a Phillies game, and seeing and hearing all that good stuff. I've been to Mets games up in New York. There was I never went to see the Mets versus Phillies, I don't think, but I did go see the Mets versus Braves, and I didn't hear anything like I heard in Philly. So, say what you want. That's Philly's badge or whatever. Fine. That's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that too much, but if that's the badge you want to wear, that's fine. I mean, every stadium, every fan base has those types of fans, but there's some fan bases that seem to have an overwhelming abundance of those types of fans. And it's not all of them. Again, it's not all of them, but it is what it is, right? So back to this game here against the Braves. DJ Stewart, he started. He actually hit leadoff, and so there's a lot of controversy about DJ Stewart hitting leadoff for Nimmo. Subbing for Nimmo. It's like, why is Stewart hitting leadoff? All of us, backseat GMs here thrown, or backseat coaches thrown, our lineups out there. Why the hell is DJ? You got this guy here. DJ Stewart did pretty decent. He leads the game off. After we were no hit for 8 2/3 innings, he leads the game off with a single right away. He ended up having a couple hits. He reached on a walk too, I believe, before Nimmo came in and pinch ran for him. So, and that was in the 7th inning. Luis Severino, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, 94 pitches. Great job by Severino again. Again, the walks are killers. The Braves did have a lot of good bats having to really drive up that pitch count, but those walks, it's 3 walks in 5 innings. That cost him an inning basically. If he's able to get that down to 1 walk, maybe he can get to the 6th inning, with maybe 100 pitches, but 94 pitches in 5 innings. But holds the Braves bats down fairly well. 4 hits, 2 earned runs, like I said, 4 strikeouts. The bullpen went 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 2 hits, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Reed Garrett, who's having a terrific season so far in the bullpen, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Adam Ottavino, a third of an inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk. He seems like he's struggling a little bit recently. Ottavino is. Jake Diekman, 2/3 of an inning pitch, 1 walk. Edwin Diaz, 1 inning pitch, 1 strikeout. I'll talk about him again a little bit later. DJ Stewart was 2 for 3 with an RBI, a run scored and a walk. Nimmo was 1 for 1, 2 RBI, and that 2-run home run. Francisco Lindor was 2 for 4 with a run, and Pete Alonso was 2 for 4, 2 RBI. Lindor, he's starting to hit well. He's starting to get, I don't want to say hot. He's starting to hit better at the plate, starting to see the ball better, hitting the ball hard. Pete Alonso, he's starting to see the ball better, hitting the ball hard since they sat him against, I think it was the Cardinals. Or was it the Cardinals or was it the Rays? I think it was the Cardinals where they sat him the first game of the series. And ever since then, he's been hitting the ball much, much better. The ones that he's been getting out on, they have been hard hits. So, just right at somebody. So, Pete Alonso, he's starting to look much, much better. And it's something I talked about on last week's show, what I thought Pete Alonso needs to do. And whether or not he's doing that, I don't know. But, for me, I'm not a professional hitting coach. I'm not a professional anything. To be honest with you, I'm a professional dad. There we go. Yeah, we get all gooey here. But that's about it. So, but yeah, it seems like they're turning around right now. They're getting hot, but then you have the end of the lineup. It's not doing anything. That's Beatty, Bader, McNeil, those guys like that. Nito. I mean, not really expecting anything offensively out of Nito anyway. But Narvaez as well. Not getting a whole lot out of him. So it's one thing or the other. It's either the back half of the lineup is hitting and the front isn't, or the front half is hitting but the back half isn't. It's very, very frustrating. All right, so moving ahead to the Philly series, a 2-game set at home, and then we travel to 2 in Philadelphia, which is I've never really. I don't remember ever seeing a series like this where it's 4 games in a row. The first 2 are at home, and the next 2 are away. I just never. But I did read something that it was to. It said to accommodate the Mets versus Phillies, or the Mets and Phillies, because they play in London in June. They have a 2-game series in London. I mean, I don't understand how that accommodates anything. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the point of it is, but whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. Not one bit. Adam says he's on X now. Yeah. So speak of the devil, Adam on X. If you're watching this right now and you're on X, you can comment now on live streams on X. How you do it, I have no idea. I mean, I've been told you tap the live video feed and you hit it again, and a comment box is supposed to pop up. I cannot get it. I cannot figure it out. It angers me, and I don't want to talk about it. So if you can figure it out, that's great. Maybe even throw a tip my way. Say, hey, this is how you do it, fat ass. But I can't figure it out. Adam says, I'm a good dad. Thank you, Adam Glenn. I appreciate that. All right. So Mets versus Phillies. Game 1 here. Mets lose 5-4 in 10 innings. They had the game in their back pocket, and they let it go. Game 1, Mets blow lead in the 9th inning. Diaz struggled with command. Shorthanded Phils. No JT in the lineup to start. No Schwarber either. JT's been out for a few games now. Schwarber, I think that was his 3rd game in a row he missed. But he would make a surprise appearance at the end of the game in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter. So no JT, Schwarber pinch hit in the 9th. Very good start by Sean Manaea, probably his best start of the season. Back to his first start of the season against the Tigers. He pitched well there, but since then this is has been absolutely his best start. He looked very, very good. He looked sharp. Good for him. He keeps. I tell you what, Manaea, he's been solid. He's been consistent so far. Hasn't gone deep in games. 5 innings for the most part each start. This one going 6 innings. He goes 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. That's 100 pitches. But one of the good things about Manaea is he keeps the ball in the yard. He's only given up 1 home run so far out of all of his starts. I mean, so that's great. That's fantastic. So he does let people on through walks, some hits. Like I said, he doesn't allow them in though. He keeps those earned runs down and doesn't give up the long ball. So that's great. JD Martinez had 3 hits and a couple RBI. Alonso was 2 for 4, 2 runs scored. Like I said, JD was 3 for 4, 2 RBI, runs scored. Tomas Nido had an RBI. Edwin Diaz, 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 2 walks, a hit batter, 2 Ks, and 2 earned runs. A terrible, terrible outing for Edwin Diaz. You can see, I don't know. I don't know what's exactly wrong with Diaz. I know I've heard and read a couple different things. People are saying whenever he has back-to-back games, whenever he pitches in back-to-back games, he seems to struggle the second game. When he has a day off in between, it's a totally different pitcher. His velocity is down a bit. And this is something that I talked about before the season started. Coming off a major injury like that, a major surgery, it's going to take time for this guy to totally come back. We're hearing, I know Frank the Tank is pretty pissed off right now. And I think he was the one saying that this is the Diaz from 2019. I think he said it was the 2019 Diaz and stuff like that. And it's not 2022 Diaz. 2022 Diaz was a rare Diaz. Just setting all kinds of I don't know if he set any records, but it certainly felt like he set all kinds of records with a high strikeout rate, super low ERA, was just was unhittable. Every time he came in to pitch in that 9th inning for a save, or even just a hold when he came into the 8th inning or a 9th inning to hold a lead, or to hold maybe a tie or whatever, just not allow the other team to score. He was out. He was lights out. He was fantastic. But that injury that he had, it's going to take time. In my opinion, it's going to take time. We may not see 2022 Diaz at all this year, maybe ever again. But we're not going to see anything close, I don't think, this season. If we do, it's not going to be till I think later in the season. Until he's more comfortable, more stretched out. I would look more towards next year, 2025, when we get the full Diaz back. I think, in my opinion, that's just where I'm at with that. He had major surgery on his knee, torn patella tendon. I mean, that's a problem. That's an issue. So going back to this game again, we had a couple big spots here. We could have scored more runs. I'm trying to think when the hell it was. I think it was earlier in the game. Was it halfway through the game? I think the 3rd or 4th inning. I thought somewhere around there. But Brett Baty's up. I think the bases were loaded, if I remember correctly. I think I'm thinking of the right game here. Baty's up, bases loaded, and I think it was this game. And then the Phillies pitcher, whose name escapes me right now, Charlie. Was it Charlie? It wasn't Charlie Rodriguez. It was Charlie something or other, I believe. It doesn't really matter what his name was, to be honest with you. But I'm going to look it up anyway real quick because I have it written down here. So I take notes and I keep my notes for a little bit. Christopher Sanchez. I was way off with the Charlie thing. Jesus Christ. Christopher Sanchez. I believe it was him. A lefty, and just 3 sliders to Baty. Made him look absolutely ridiculous. And here's the problem I have with Baty. All right, I want Baty to do well. I want Baty to do awesome. I want Baty to hit for power. I want Baty to do great at third base. And he's doing better at third base this year. But he's at the plate, he's lost. Dude is absolutely lost. I don't understand in my deep down being here. I don't understand at all how you can call somebody your top prospect in your system and he can only hit right-handed pitching. That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Because when he first started coming up, started getting some at bats here in the major leagues. We're gonna have to maybe hit him just against righties because he doesn't hit lefties very well. What the hell is that? He's supposed to be the number 1 prospect in your organization, and he can't hit lefties. Well, that doesn't mean I don't see that being the number 1 prospect in your organization. I don't. That doesn't make sense. He's a part-time player basically then, right? I could be wrong. It doesn't make sense to me. He looks absolutely, positively ridiculous against left-handed pitching. Looks foolish. I mean, I don't know. It boggles my mind. Adam Glenn says, did you ask your daughter how to connect on X? I did not because she doesn't have X, Adam Glenn, so she would not know. I've said this a million times. Eileen, hump day, Eileen. There it is. Whoop. Yuki says, I have a prediction. Vientos will help the Mets win. We will be 20 games above 500. Second place in the division by the All-Star break. Holy Christ, that is one hell of a prediction, Yuki Matsui, and I hope you're right. I hope you're right, but I don't know about all that. That's one hell of a prediction. That's really going out there on a limb. That's like a limb that's probably like cracked in high winds type of limb. You know what I mean? But also back to that game against the Phillies game one here. There was also in the ninth inning, obviously Diaz is struggling, and there was a point there. I think it was the Phillies number 9 hitter, and I can't remember. I can't remember his name. It starts with a K, like Kieser. I don't think it was Kieserling, or it doesn't matter what the hell it was. It doesn't matter who it was. But there was a check swing, and it was missed. The dude absolutely 100% swung. Again, shouldn't have came down to that anyway. Shouldn't have came down to that. Diaz needs to throw strikes, needs to do better. He had a couple hitters down 0-2 and just could not locate anything anywhere, not even close. Against Bohm, I think it was. Was it Bohm? I think Bohm was down 0-2 or 1-2, and he hit him in the hand. And, if I remember correctly, I think Nito was calling for the pitch outside, I think, low and outside, and he hit him all the way up in the hands. Yeah, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. And you said so many different issues, with Diaz right now. Like I said, there's back-to-back games he pitched in. Whether or not that's it, I don't know, because he looked good against the Braves, the night before. Holy Christ, scared me. He looked good against the Braves the day before. Then you come back today and just looked lost. It's just, again, it was all about location. Fastball, he did get it up to 97, 98, I believe. Whereas last year, he was hitting triple digits occasionally, but get it up to 97, 98, but couldn't locate a slider, couldn't locate the fastball, and he wasn't getting any help from Blue, with the check swing. And I guess I didn't see the play with the hit batter. I was on my way to work, but they're saying the Mets broadcasters, Howie Rose, and I can't remember who's with Howie right now, but they said it looks like it might have hit the knob, but then the replay shows that it hits his hand, it hits Bohm's hand. So walked the run in, hit a batter, hit a run in, and we go extra innings. The Phillies score their ghost runner, zombie runner, whatever the hell you want to call it. I call it the zombie runner that they put out there on second base. They score him, who was I don't know who it was. Was it Schwarber? No, it wasn't Schwarber. It doesn't matter who it was. But they score that run. They go up 5-4. So the Mets, they go out there with their zombie runner. And I think the first batter, I think the first batter was Joey Wendell, who was in because they pinched hit for Brett Beatty with Tyrone Taylor. Tyrone Taylor doesn't play third base. So they put Joey Wendell in at third base as a defensive replacement. And here he is now batting in the 10th inning with the zombie runner on. And all you got to do is move him over. It's a couple sacrifices, and that's a run, right? Well, he goes to bunt, the runner over, and he pops up to the third base. I told my daughter, I said to my daughter, I said, watch this idiot get out. I said, either he's going to strike out or he's going to pop out. So watch this idiot do it. Popped out on a bunt. And I'm not one to get overly excited about it. I'm not one to yell at the TV. She was laughing at me because she's a Phillies fan. And my hand is out like this, outstretched, and I told you, this guy needs to be gone. We'll get to that in a second here. So that's how pretty much it went there for the Mets. I don't think the zombie runner ever left second base, and that was that. So we go to game 2 yesterday. Mets lose that one 4-0. Again, a close ball game. It was 2-0 all the way up to the 9th inning. Nola pitched outstanding for the Phillies. You got to give credit where credit's due. It's kind of funny. A lot of Philly fans kind of are down on Nola. Whenever you talk to a Philly fan about Nola, he sucks. He's overpaid. He doesn't show up until the second half of the season, but then disappears for the playoffs. Blah blah blah. So I was just talking to a Philly fan at work. I think it was at work before I was getting ready to leave, and he was talking about how well Wheeler's doing, but then Nola, he's like, I don't know about Nola. Well, here's Nola, complete game, 4-hitter, no runs, just everyday kind of thing there for him. Starling Marte singled in the 7th inning, but Nola needed just 3 pitches to get 3 outs, and that was the frustrating part of that. You have Marte get on, then you have a couple of your big bats. You figure you have Lindor, Alonso, Martinez. You get the 3 big bats to get the runner in, right? No. Lindor, I think he grounded out or popped out. No, he popped out. He lined out. That's what it is. I have it written down here. He lined out to, I think, second base. So there's your 1 out on 1 pitch. And then Alonso comes up and he hits a super hard ground ball right at the second baseman into a double play. And that ends your inning. 3 pitches. So, yeah, 3 pitches to get 3 outs. So that would have been 3 outs. And 3 pitches to Lindor and Alonso. So, that's tough. And or no, okay, I got it mixed up again. Marte got hit on the first pitch, then Lindor, he got out 1 pitch, and then Alonso. So it's almost like what do you call it? The immaculate inning, I think it is, where you get the 3 outs on three pitches. But it was kind of like that, but you had a hit mixed in, so it was a little bit different. Jose Butto, he pitched well. He pitched a good game. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 earned runs. Ran some issues with the walks again. His last couple starts, I feel like he's walking a lot of hitters, which is again causing him to only get into the 5th, 6th inning. 3rd inning, he struggled. 41 pitches, giving up 1 hit, but walked 2 batters with bases loaded to bring in 2 runs. He hit Bohm, and then walked Marsh. So. Again, Bohm gets hit to bring in a run. So Jose Butto struggled with command, but pitched well overall. Only 1 hit, only those 2 earned runs. Able to get out of that bases loaded jam without giving up any more than those 2 with the walk and the hit batter. No JT or Harper. Bryce Harper's out because of migraine. The funny thing about that is the game before, Tomas Nido hit Bryce Harper in the head with the ball, in the helmet, I should say. And Bryce Harper played it up, shaking his head and, squinting his eyes like, it's like, oh, my God, I rung my bell. I mean, come on, dude. It's a catcher thrown back to the pitcher. He's not firing back. He's from his knees. From his knees. Usually if you watch a game, you watch a catcher throw back to the pitcher from his knees. Usually it's kind of like a little soft toss. Come on, Harper. You're wearing a helmet. Hit the side of your helmet. I mean, shaking his head, bent over, wincing his eyes and stuff. He played it up pretty well. Nito's laughing at him. Are you okay? And Bryce Harper's like, oh my God, I got quadruple vision here. So whatever, Bryce Harper. I like Bryce Harper. I do. I would take 1 million Bryce Harpers on my team. He's super intense. He's a hustler, but sometimes a little bit. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but that's what he is. So, but yeah, no JT Realmuto is still out, and Harper did not play. Schwarber did play though. Starling Marte was 2 for 4. Tyrone Taylor had a hit, and Jeff McNeil in a pinch hitting role was 1 for 1. The Mets dropped to 10-14 at Citi Field. Cannot play at home very well, and on that homestand they were 1 for 4. Thank God we're leaving Citi Field. hopefully we have better luck when we go to Philly and down to Miami than in Cleveland. So we'll turn the page. We'll turn the page on that. Real quick, I want to talk about Jeff McNeil. He's been the dude has been struggling. I mean, I like Jeff McNeil. I liked Jeff McNeil. Now he's just under my skin. He's just quirky, goofy ass that can't hit. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like all he's doing up there is slap hitting, trying to slap balls in, and he's popping them up. I feel like every time he's up, he's popping the ball up. To shallow outfield somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's left, center, or right. It always feels shallow, where either the infield drops back and they catch it, or the outfield takes a nice light jog in, they catch it. No threat at all. It's so frustrating, Jeff McNeil. So far in the month of May, he's 8 for 42, hitting 190. Only 4 walks, is a 261 on base percentage, a 190 slug, a 451 OPS so far in May, and no extra base hits. So, crap, absolute crap. The Atlanta series, he was 1 for 9. The Tampa Bay series is 1 for 11 against the Phillies. He was 0 for 5. I shouldn't say he did have a hit against the Phillies there, right? Yeah. So he was 1 for 5 against the Phillies. Overall, 8 strikeouts and 4 walks. It's not going to get it done. Obviously we don't have batting champ Jeff McNeil back. Ever since he signed that contract, batting champ Jeff McNeil went bye-bye. I mean, it's been a steady decline if you look at his numbers over the years. It seems like it appears to be like a steady decline. Batting average going down, on base percentage going down, and I don't know what it is. I do not know what it is. I mean, I think it was back in I don't know if it was 18 or 19. He did have 20 plus home runs. Does he need to go back to that to try to hit for more power? I don't know. I have no idea. Him being a slap hitter is not getting it done. Him trying to place the ball is not getting it done because either he's not a good enough hitter to do that, or he doesn't know how to do it. I don't know. That could be the same exact thing. I'm not sure. But Jeff McNeil, something needs to happen. And again, I like McNeil, but I think the Mets should explore a trade. I don't know who the hell would want Jeff McNeil right now. Now, fielding wise, not bad at second base. Outfield, he's okay. He's serviceable. But who would want that contract in Jeff McNeil right now? I wouldn't. If I'm if I'm a contending team, to hell with that. Just have some guy go out there and slap and pop up every time. No, thank you. So Jeff McNeil, incredibly frustrating, and he needs to be much, much better. If the Mets want to do anything, that dude needs to step up. Needs to be much better. Needs to start putting the ball in play. Needs to start putting the ball in play where the defense isn't. First off. But he needs to put it, in play harder. Instead of these little blue pop-ups, it's absolutely killing me. You can almost predict it. You watch him up there. It's he's going to pop it up the right. He's going to pop it up the left on like some sort of half-ass looking swing. Put a swing to it. Hit the goddamn ball. Hit it on a freaking rope. Frustrating. Bringing my blood pressure up here. All right. So up next for the Mets, you have Mets Phillies today at 6:40, I believe, in Philadelphia. It was raining here in Pottsville, which is about 100 miles from Philadelphia, about 100 miles west, northwest or so from Philly. It was raining here. It rained all night, and it's supposed to be on and off showers here all day. I don't know about Philadelphia. But tonight you're supposed to have Joey Lucchesi making his season debut against Ranger Suarez. And Ranger Suarez is right now the best pitcher in baseball. 7-0, 1.50 ERA, 0.72 WHIP. That's through 54 innings pitched, 31 hits, 55 strikeouts, and only 8 walks. Ranger Suarez has been outstanding. Outstanding. Setting Philly club records and stuff like that. He's been awesome. So Joey Lucchesi getting the start for the Mets. Originally, it's supposed to be Adrian Hauser. Thank God that didn't happen. Just another reason to lose my mind. But Hauser was up in the pen last night's game. I guess they felt like he was up long enough where he could not make a start today. So they call up Joey Lucchesi. So we're going to see the season debut of Joey Fuego. So far in the minor leagues, Lucchesi Has a 2.58 ERA through 38 and a third innings pitched, 2-1, 1.30 WHIP. Last season, 2023, he pitched at a tune of a 2.89 ERA through 9 starts, 4-0, and that was with 46 and 2/3 innings and a 1.31 WHIP. So he's a sinker ball pitcher, throws a sinker ball most of the time, so expect a lot of ground balls. If you're getting a lot of ground balls, that means Lucchesi's on. If you're getting a lot of balls hit in the air, that means Lucchesi is not on. So he doesn't strike out a lot of guys, so let's hope he doesn't walk a lot of guys either. All right. We also have another call-up I'll talk about in a minute here. So then tomorrow you have Jose Quintana versus Taijuan Walker, former Met Taijuan Walker. Quintana's 1-4, 5.44 ERA, 1.55 WHIP. He's been struggling. 41 in the third innings pitched, 46 hits, 28 strikeouts, and 18 walks. That's where he's been struggling. Those walks are killing him right now. Taijuan Walker, 3-0, 4.82 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, and 18 and 2/3 innings pitched, 21 hits, 15 strikeouts, 4 walks. I do believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Taijuan Walker's been pitching primarily out of the bullpen. All right, so then we move on to Miami. The Mets go to Miami after Philadelphia to play the Marlins. They 3-game set. Mets have Christian Scott going against to be determined for the Marlins. Scott's 0-1 in two starts, 2.84 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, 12 and 2/3 innings pitched, 11 hits, 14 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Hopefully he keeps those walks down. That's kind of like how Jose Butto started the season out. High strikeout rate, low walks, but now it's kind of the walks are starting to creep up on Jose Butto. I don't know if it's because teams are getting more video on Butto and they're watching more, or he's just having a harder time locating some of his pitches. Game 2 against the Marlins, you have Severino going, 2-2, 3 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, 45 innings pitched, 34 hits, 41 strikeouts, 20 walks. Again, the walks are killing him. If you get those walks down, he can go deeper into the games here, save our bullpen a little bit. But overall, Severino has pitched very, very good. Much better than a lot of Mets fans probably thought. I know coming into the season, I did bring up his past seasons with the Yankees, and last year, talking to our resident Yankee fan, Eileen, about all the issues that he had last year personally. Not only that, but also physically, leading to that super high ERA possibly, and his struggles. Going for the Marlins, you have Braxton Garrett. He's pitched in 1 game, so he has 5 1/3 innings pitched, 8.44 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, 5 hits and 8 strikeouts and 2 walks in that game. Then you have Sean Manaea coming off the stellar performance that he had the other day. He's 2-1 with a 3.05 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, 41 and a third innings pitched, 37 strikeouts, 34 hits, and 20 walks. Again, the walks, I keep saying it, the freaking walks. The same thing happened to the Mets last year. The starting rotation, walk. Only limiting our starting rotation to 5 innings pitched. Sometimes not even that, only getting the 4 innings. Just the pitch count was so high because we're walking so many different batters, getting so deep into counts. Throw those first pitch strikes, get ahead in the count, and work it. It's incredibly frustrating. The Mets rotation leads, I think the Mets pitching staff leads all of baseball in walks, but definitely the starting rotation does. So Manaea, he'll be facing Sixto Sanchez. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but that's how I'm going to say his name. That's how it's spelled. That's how I'm going to say it. Phonetically, Sixto. He's 0-1, 5.96 ERA, 1.63 WHIP. That's in 22 and 2/3 innings pitched, 28 hits, 13 strikeouts, and 9 walks. He lets up a lot of walks. So hopefully we have some patience. And then after that, we go to Cleveland. I don't have any matchups written down there because it just flips over. And I'm talking about guys that even haven't made a start in between then. And it just doesn't make sense to me. So looking at the standings right now here in the NL East, of course, Philly has the best record in all of baseball. They're sitting there 30-13. A plus 67 run differential, 8-2 in their last 10, and a 2-game win streak. Atlanta's right behind them, 2 games back, 26-13. They're playing very, very good right now. They got swept by the Dodgers over the, last weekend or recently? They were swept by the Dodgers out west. They've been lights out since then. They're 26-13, 2 games back, a plus 54 run differential, 6-4 in their last 10. They won 2 in a row. Washington still holds on to third place there, 20-21, a game under 500. They're 9 games back. -8 run differential, 5-5 in their last 10, and they lost one game in a row. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but it's how I'm going to say it. The Mets are sitting behind Washington, 19-22, 10 games back, a -4 run differential, 3-7 in their last 10, losers of 2 in a row. And then you have the Marlins sitting at 12-32, 18.5 back, -89 run differential, 3-7 in their last 10, and they won one game in a row. And so last week I said the Marlins are done. They've been officially eliminated from the playoffs. I talked all sorts of trash. And here we are. The Mets are now double digits back, games back as well. So that is what it is. Yuki says, baseball gods, please have mercy on Mets fans. There we go. God, give Vientos 2 home runs tonight, and I promise to eat my vitamins and say my prayers every night, just like the Hulkster did. I picture Yuki Matsui as a Hulkamaniac deep down, saying his prayers, eating his vitamins, all that good stuff. Yes. God, baseball God, if you're up there, please be kind. Or wherever the baseball God would be located, I'm not really sure. Probably on a baseball diamond somewhere in the fields of Iowa. All right. So I mentioned earlier that we also have another bit of news. We have Mark Vientos, which Yuki Matsui has brought up earlier, saying he has a prediction. Vientos will help the Mets, and we will win 20 games above 500 and second place by the division by the All-Star break. So Mark Vientos was called up yesterday to kind of maybe give the Mets a little bit of a spark and to kind of help a struggling Brett Baty here, to kind of maybe light a fire under his ass. And because he can't hit left-handed pitchers, put Mark Vientos in there to hit left-handed pitching. So now you have two guys split in time because both those guys cannot hit a certain kind of pitcher. Vientos has a hard time against righties, can hit lefties better. Baty, a left-handed hitter, can't hit the lefties, but he hits the righties a little bit better. So that's where our top prospects do, I guess. So down in the minor leagues, Vientos hitting 284, 6 home runs, 30 RBI, 876 OPS. That's a 376 on base percentage at a 500 slug. 7 at-bats in the big league so far this year. He's hitting 429, 1 home run, 2 RBI. And that was that walk-off against the Cardinals. Brett Baty, looking at Brett Baty this year, 39 games. He's hitting 230, 3 home runs, 13 RBI, 2 doubles. Not enough pop. Absolutely not enough pop. We didn't bring Brett Baty up, give him a starting position. Put him in the lineup to be a singles hitter. Brett Baty's here to drive the ball, get extra base hits, move runners, and he's not doing it. He's not doing it. He has 10 walks, 34 strikeouts. He has a 609 OPS, which is trash. 292 on base percentage and a 317 slug, which is trash. So to make room for Mark Vientos and Joey Lucchesi, the Mets DFA Joey Wendle. Sayonara, Joey Wendle. Hitting 222, 1 RBI, a 493 OPS, and that's in 18 games. And his defense sucked ass too. He's a utility guy, which are usually defensive type guys, and this is why we got him for his defense. And it sucks ass. All right. And the Mets also DFA once again. I kind of feel bad for this guy, but got to pitch better. Yohan Ramirez. He had a 6.91 ERA in 10 games, 14 and a third innings pitched, 11 earned runs, 14 hits, and 17 strikeouts. That's with the Orioles and the New York Mets. The Mets DFA'd him. They trade him to the Orioles. Orioles end up DFAing him. The Mets pick him back up. So the Mets have a couple days where they can trade Wendle and Yohan Ramirez, or Yohan, whatever you want, however you want to say it. So they do have an opportunity to trade these guys. Whether or not they do, who knows? If not, I think Wendle said he would not accept an assignment, so he'd become a free agent. I'm not sure about Yohan Ramirez. Not too sure what he would do. So right now, it looks like we don't have a viable backup at shortstop in case something were to happen to Lindor in a game. I don't know what we would do. I guess we'd probably throw McNeil there, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what we would do if something happened to Lindor. I don't know how it would work. Would we throw McNeil at short? And who the hell would you put at second base then? You just can't throw anybody there. He's got double plays and all that good stuff. I don't know. I don't know what they would do. I can't see Brett Baty or Mark Vientos going there. I don't know. No clue. So hopefully Lindor just stays healthy, doesn't get sick again. None of that stuff. I got a couple more comments. Yuki says 4 ways to fix the Mets. 1, trade bench McNeil. 2, move Marte down the order. 3, Stewart play if Nimmo. Stewart play. Nimmo to center field. 4, Vientos, our new third baseman. Send Baty to minors. So that's the tricky part is the Baty to the minors. In my opinion, is do you keep him up to have that extra bat? So what if Vientos comes up, he kills it. He's absolutely killing it. He's killing, left-handed pitching, and he gets a shot at right-handed pitching. He's killing right-handed pitching, and he's hitting great. Do you send Baty down to the minors so he continues to get the work, or do you keep him up so you still have a decent bat off the bench? I don't know. I don't know what you would do there, but probably send Baty down just because how young he is to continue to get work and try to work on what he's not doing and what he's not doing well. I know Bader's been struggling. I know he's pissed off about his playing time. We talked about that last week. Bader, if you want to play more, hit more. I mean, it's plain and simple as that. So moving Nimmo back to center field. And Stewart's not a great outfielder, but he's hitting like 180, 190, but the freaking on-base percentage is almost 400. You can't beat that, right? He has an OPS of over 800. For a guy that's hitting 180, 190, for a guy that's hitting 250, that's good. 260, unbelievable. So yeah, I'm all for letting Stewart play. Moving Marte down the order, I don't know. He was down in the order at the beginning of the season, and they moved him up, and he was hitting well at the top of the order, and now he's kind of struggling a little bit. I don't know what you do with him. I have no idea. Obviously, moving him around could help. What's it going to hurt? It's not going to get worse. So yeah. So I like that. I would definitely try to trade Jeff McNeil. I like Jeff McNeil. I've been a strong advocate for Jeff McNeil last year and into this year, but I'm done with it. I'm frustrated with Jeff McNeil. I'd rather the Mets trade him and try to get something back for it. Again, that contract, I don't know what they could get, but very, very frustrated with Jeff McNeil. I would probably, if I seen Jeff McNeil's car, I'd probably punch his car. That car that he had to have from Lindor, that some people point to last season, all the bad vibes behind that, because he complained he didn't get his car yet or whatever the hell it was, whatever. I'd punch his car right in the grill. Right in the grill. I would mess that car up. I don't know what kind of car he got either. I don't care. Punch it square in its grill. Your thoughts on Joel Sherman report that Pete Alonso turned down a $158 million contract in the offseason. I did hear that a few days ago on the Locked On Mets podcast where the lad there was talking about it. And, talking about how Joel Sherman talked about it, I guess he was on a TV show. He was talking about it. And Pete said that there was no contract put out there besides 1-year deal. I think the Mets said the same. So were they just kind of, not spilling the beans? I don't know. But anyway, for Pete to give up the $158 million, I feel like the years were 7 years. So it was, I think, 7 years, $158 million. I don't remember what the annual value was, but I'm not surprised. But I was kind of surprised a little bit. Like, for his stuff that we were hearing, he's only received 1-year deals. And, you kind of, believe it. At least I'm gullible like that. I believe, okay, that's what he was getting from the Mets right now, 1-year deals until this offseason coming up. Let him go, test the market and then, sign him after that. So I bought into it. I believed it. And then you hear that, and so if it's factual, I'm kind of bummed by it. That's a really good contract. Again, I don't know what the annual value was. If that were where that would have put him in amongst the other first basemen, if that would have put him above Olson or Freeman, I don't know. It's say what you want about Pete, and these other first basemen. Olson's a better first baseman than Pete. Freddie Freeman's a better first baseman than Pete. Whatever. Uh, you know, it's hard. It's hard to compare. They're all different players. You look at the numbers. Average batting average wise, of course, Freddie Freeman's much better. Matt Olson, much better. Power numbers. Alonso, Matt Olson are extremely comparable. Driving runs in, comparable between all three. But defensively, Freddie Freeman. I'm not sure about Matt Olson. I know Freddie Freeman's a really good first baseman. Pete's gotten better. I think Pete's a decent first baseman. So I think he's really earned his stripes there. He's really worked hard at the position, and he's been doing much better. But that's kind of bummed. That's kind of bummed that if this is true, that he turned it down. But then I kind of understand it. You kind of bet on yourself. He goes out there, and what if he has a monster year? He goes out here this season. Hits 270, 265. With 45 home runs, 135 RBI, 140 RBI. The Mets are in contention. They're a wild card team, or they finish I won't say at the top of the East, but near the top of the East. Go to the playoffs. Well, then there's a chance there. Looking at it from his side, there's a chance there he might have left $50 million on the table, or that's a lot of money. I mean, when you look at it, $158 million is a lot of money also to turn down. But would you rather, $215, $220 million, or would you rather $158 million? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if maybe it came down to years. Is that why he turned it down? It wasn't enough. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was kind of bummed that came out and that it was turned down. Bummed and surprised. But he's betting on himself. You got to give him credit for that. And so far this year, it's been up and down. It's been good at points, and it's been really bad at points, and it's back to being good. So he's been hitting the ball really hard. That's all you can really ask for. Frankie bought Jeff a Ford Bronco. Is that what it was? I don't know if I'd be able to punch a Ford Bronco in the grill. I thought maybe he got him some sort of like a Mini Cooper. That's what I would have bought Jeff McNeil's dumbass. A Mini Cooper. Nothing against Mini Cooper. If you drive a Mini Cooper, there's nothing against Mini Coopers. I have nothing against Mini Coopers. It's funny because it's a small car. And here you go, Jeff McNeil. Here's a small car. But if Lindor brought him a Ford Bronco, I wouldn't punch a Ford Bronco in the grill. I'd kick a Ford Bronco in the grill. I'd kick it. I ain't gonna lie to you there. I'd throw on my work boots. Got the old steel toe there. I'd kick it. A smaller car, a Mini Cooper, I'd definitely punch. Now, if it's an old car, something from the '80s or before, when they actually made the cars out of metal, steel and stuff like that, I wouldn't punch any of those. Maybe the mirror or something. I'd punch the mirror from the backside, but besides that, I would. But the newer cars made out of fiberglass or whatever the hell it is, composites and stuff like that, I definitely punch that. And plastics and stuff. At the very least, a forearm shiver. One of those. Yeah. I'm getting all worked up here about hitting Jeff McNeil's car right now, but I wouldn't do it to a Bronco. I think I'll get hurt. Yuki says I would bought Jeff a squirrel car resembling the car from Dumb and Dumber. That's good stuff. If for those that don't know, which would shock the hell out of you if you've never seen Dumb and Dumber, Dumb and Dumber is an all-time great movie. But they had the Mutz Cuts, van. It was a van that was like a sheepdog. It was looked like a dog. It was all fuzzy and stuff like that. Had legs and stuff around the tire. Had a tail and stuff. And Mutz Cuts was the name of the dog grooming business that Harry would drive. Harry was working for the dog grooming. He had a whole get up and the whole outfit and stuff. And One of my favorite things is when they fill it up with gas, they have to lift a leg like the dog was pissing. They'd lift the leg up and put it in. And what a great movie. What a fantastic movie. But a squirrel mobile actually would be pretty neat to see. I'd like to see that. Eileen gets a kick out of it. Eileen, LOL is right. All right, so I got a couple things here to put out there. You can reach us on X, Out of the Box Sports at OOT Box Sports on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And myself here on the Batcave at the Batcave OOTBS on Twitter. Reach out to us, with comments or whatever. Slide into my DMs. Go for it. And on YouTube, you can reach Out of the Box Sports Entertainment at OOT Box Sports on YouTube and on Facebook. Or just punch in Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. It will come up. A black logo with red lettering. All good. I do have a Batcave YouTube, but I think I have one subscriber. So go to the Out of the Box one. Please like, subscribe, and follow. Hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And remember, if you're watching from X, you can now comment on the live stream by clicking that live stream and then clicking it again, and a comment box should show up. Again, I've tried it. I can't get it to work, and it's incredibly frustrating for myself. But anyway, a couple messages to get out here real quick. Coming up here real soon on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, we have a UFC show coming up Inside the Octagon, debuting May 27th, and it'll be on every Monday at 8:30 p.m. With our boy Paul Spencer and his co-host Josh. We welcome Josh to the network. That's Inside the Octagon, all your UFC talk there. So all you combat sports fans, MMA fans, check it out. That's coming May 27th, 8:30 p.m. Of course, we have a Monday Night Football show coming up here during football season. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, the Golden Dome podcast. That will be starting back up in, I believe, August. College Football Frenzy will be starting back up in August. All sorts of stuff, coming up here. So we've got a couple sponsors here. We got Jason Fine, J Fine Law, Attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In Cherry Hill, New Jersey, the offices are located in 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 500 Grand Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. And in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jason Fine, Attorney Big Al. Hopefully, we put a little bit of a hurting on Philly's pitching today and tomorrow, where they give Jason Fine a call and try to help them out a little bit. For all your gourmet coffee needs, head on over to monkeycoltcoffee.com. They got those boozy coffees there. They got bourbon, chocolate chip infused, toasted coconut rum. They have a Sumatran blend of medium roast coffee for all you coffee lovers out there that just want a straightforward coffee. That's a medium roast. They also have an organic blend called Perula, Florida, and their newest flavor, Golden Honey Agave. They also have barrel-aged honey for sale at monkeycoltcoffee.com. And be sure to check out their swag shop. They got T-shirts, coffee mugs, tumbler cups, cold brew pitchers for all you iced coffee and cold brew coffee lovers out there, K-Cup adapters. And don't forget that sweet, sweet Paradise rum cake. Good stuff. Very good at monkeycoltcoffee.com. And at checkout, use that promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off your order. That promo code, once again, is OOTB Sports for 10% off your order at monkeycoltcoffee.com. All great coffee, so be sure to check them out. I love Monkey Colt Coffee. It's great stuff. It's fantastic, high-quality coffee. And some really good people there that run it as well. So, all right. So that's all I have for today. You can check me out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., the Silver and Black Lair LA Kings edition. Friday night, 10 p.m. I won't be on Friday morning. I have a work function to go to after work. So I'll be taking a tour of the Yuengling Brewery around 10 a.m. So I will not be on. And then we have a luncheon to celebrate our safety committee. So we'll be doing that. So I will be on 10 p.m. Friday night talking Raiders with the Silver and Black Lair Las Vegas Raiders edition. And then Saturday night, 10 p.m., the Atomic Drop podcast talking WWE wrestling. I got one more comment here. Yuki, thank you, Yuki. I'll tell you what, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for all your comments. Great questions, great points that you put out there every time that you hop on the show. I appreciate it very much. Eileen, Adam, thank you guys very much for commenting. And again, if you're watching, throw your comments or questions out there. I'll read pretty much anything. It doesn't even have to be about Mets or baseball. I'm up for talking about pretty much anything, as long as it isn't political or racially motivated. Maybe even, well, we'll see what the racially motivated part is. But anyway, as long as it isn't political, we'll be all good. Well, I'll talk about pretty much anything. So, all right, that's all I have for today. Again, check me out next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel, and let's go Mets.